Wait, I want to see this Asmongold. Asmon about Hasan take. Let's see what this is.
Like, I think you guys probably know by this point, like, I have no problem talking with people about what I think or what I believe or what I think is true or anything. I have no problem talking with somebody like, I don't know, like Hasan. Like, I like Hasan. I watched his stream last night. I agree with a lot of the things that he says. Like,
Told you. I just, before we move on from the Asmon take, actually, here's what I need to tell all the leftists and people in this community and liberals in this community as well. I think the reason why someone like Asmongold can watch me and say that he agrees with me, despite the fact that like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it would be unheard of that someone who is even anywhere near centrism or anti-SJW rhetoric or whatever would be like, yeah, I watched that guy who fucking is a self-described anti-capitalist. But the reason for why, well, one, it's personal growth, and I talk about that all the time. But the other reason why Asmongold says that, and other people also feel that way, is because I'm understanding of people on their own journey, instead of immediately being like, oh, you fucking said, you said this 5 years ago, 4 years ago, you said that. Well, I'm going to be uncharitable as fuck to you and make sure that you feel terrible and bad and that you're overall a bad person and that you have no room for growth. And I'm just going to fucking woke scold you to solidify my support within my community on the left. That's what you do, though. I fucking never do that. That's something I literally fight back against on the left all the time. It just is incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating to me that he's not bad, but I don't think he's grown as much as you think. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. He apparently says don't vote or something, but hold on. Tucker Carlson says he's on board with democratic socialism. No, that's bullshit. Tucker Carlson is not Asmongold. Tucker Carlson is literally a professional pundit. He has a job, and that job is to change people like Asmongold and other people who are overall apolitical or don't fucking pay attention to politics unless it's every 4 years. His job is to change their minds. His job is literally to fucking get people on his side and fill their brain with poison. Tucker Carlson is a bad person, okay? He's not a good person. There's no reason to be charitable to someone like Tucker Carlson, just like there's no reason to be charitable to someone like fucking Charlie Kirk. You don't have to be charitable if you're on the other side to someone like myself, and most people aren't. Okay? Unless you're a liberal, and in which case you don't listen to what I'm saying and you frustrate the fuck out of me, and you know, you're overall annoying, your demeanor.
Like, it's a waste of time. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't care who wins. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I think that they're both relatively bad. I don't even know if I'm going to...
Do you not seek to change people's minds to your point of view, though? Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do. That's literally all I do, man. What do you mean? The difference between me and Tucker Carlson, though, is that I don't fucking lie to you about that. Like, I literally tell you, this is my position. I think it's right. And I think you should agree with me. And here's why. That's literally all I do.
To vote. That's the real truth. I don't. Like, I think that the entire system is a complete sham. I think that the entire... I think it's a complete fucking... It's not an inside job, but it's ruled by oligarchs and a lot of money. And people are being fed the stupidest, dumbest takes possible. The debates are purely for show. They don't talk about...
Wait, people got mad at this take? He's fucking completely correct. What do you... Like, what do you think I was going to criticize this? There's a lot of people who feel this way, by the way. Asmongold is not alone. You can't expect people to think about and offer, like, moral consideration to a potential harm reduction philosophy. You just can't. And the argument that like voting out Donald Trump is magically going to solve so many of the fucking problems that people face is not good. Anyway, it doesn't matter though. You should absolutely vote. You absolutely 100% should vote. Even if your vote for the president is not all that significant, or if you feel like your vote for the president is not all that significant, I have always, without a doubt, 100% told you to go out and vote. Especially because down ballot races do matter. They do actually have the capacity to change your life in meaningful ways and change the lives of others in meaningful ways. Not only that, but you have ballot measures that you need to vote for. So there is a direct effect in voting when it comes to down ballot races for sure. It's so dangerous, though. Trump is incredibly dangerous and Biden is not. I mean, America is dangerous. The pathway that America has led down is fucking harmful and very dangerous to the rest of the world and certainly even to its own goddamn citizens. And neither party is going to dramatically change that. However, Bernie Sanders, what the fuck am I saying? Joe Biden is still better at further harm reduction. But if you don't give a fuck about that, if you feel like that's not enough for you, if you feel as though your vote doesn't matter because you live in Texas, and actually Texas is pretty close now, not close enough, but you should definitely vote if you're in Texas and vote for Joe Biden. But overall, his frustrations with like the oligarchs and how voting for either side is not going to dramatically change anything, and that the system is going to continue as it has. That's not incorrect. It's true. Don't fucking delude yourself. Don't delude yourself into thinking that like if voting for Joe Biden is going to have like significant material consequences. Be honest with people. That's the other thing I was going to tell you about why Asmongold, I think, can watch what I talk about and feel as though he can agree with what I'm saying, because I try to be as honest as possible. Like I'm being honest. I think it's understandable that a lot of Americans feel this way, especially because on the Democratic side, there isn't enough to capture the attention of non-voters. This is something that I believe we need to fundamentally fucking change. Make it easier for people to vote, first and foremost, abolish the Electoral College, and more importantly than that, absolutely sell people on why they should vote. Why they should vote for one candidate over the other. And I don't think Joe Biden does a good enough job. And if you ask Democratic operatives, and there are plenty of them in my chat, who I duke it out with from time to time, i.e. Lib Bizzle, for example, they literally say this is a referendum on Donald Trump, so we can't rock the boat by coming out with like strong policy positions. And if you don't come out with strong policy positions, you're not going to have people motivated to go out and vote for you, because voting is very difficult in this country. And on top of that, it always leaves people thinking that their voice doesn't matter. Not trying to agitate. I legit thought you used to be Bernie or bust earlier this year. No, man. No. I told Hutch at the time as well in secret and told him that I would deny it if he ever admitted this to people. But like, no, I was fucking Bernie or bust in the sense that I wanted to agitate so that Democrats were scared into potentially voting for Bernie Sanders. He's being responsible, saying this to his audience, especially when he comes from a place of innate privilege. Yes, Asmongold is privileged, and he certainly has a lot of money, so the system won't impact him immediately in the most negative ways possible. That's the reality. However, if you think that like fucking voting for Joe Biden is going to have a long-lasting, tangible, and immediate benefit, if you're coming from a non-privileged position, if you're marginalized, like that's fucking silly, dude. He grew up dirt poor. Yeah, no, I know. I know he comes from a really poor family. Now he has privilege. So he's worked hard and he fucking and you know, Lyric said that Biden is a safe route for 4 years till we get a better person for the job. Yeah, Lyric is pretty based. To be fair, there was a lot of Bernie or bust rhetoric when Bernie was a cheerleader. Look, guys, I've said this, and and this is why I criticize like third-party voters as well. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other. If you want to do it, go ahead, go off. I'll tell you why you should. I'll tell you why you should still fucking vote for Joe Biden, especially if you're in a swing state. But like, if your argument as to why Asmongold worked hard, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, he got lucky, but he still fucking worked. You can't get to that position without putting in any work whatsoever. Come on, dude. It's part hard work and part fucking luck. It's opportunity that you can seize on. But ultimately, it absolutely is edging out the competition, grinding day in, day out. Like, anyway, where were we? Get to put up with idiots like you all in chat. Here's a well worked out argument against lesser evilism and voting for Biden. No, I'm not gonna fucking read that dumbass article, okay? Is that then you trigger the contrarian side of my brain, because like lesser evilism, if you believe that, absolutely is a very valid and very legitimate reason as to why you would vote for Joe Biden. If you're a leftist and you fucking believe that like Joe Biden sucks ass, like you of course are still gonna fucking vote for him, because 4 more years of Donald Trump creates additional fucking hurdles. Democrats are never gonna learn their lesson by in the absence of like an actual leader or an actual vanguard party or like an actual mobilization led by a person that you can vote for, a person like Bernie Sanders. Without that, like you're throwing your fucking vote away if your goal is to like teach the Democratic Party a lesson. They're never going to learn their lesson, okay? They don't need to learn their lesson. They have an entire infrastructure within the media to never learn their lesson. Okay? They aren't even American. Oh, the picking a fight? Really? Oh, of course. Why are you doing election interference if you're not even American? Come on. Why not read the article instead of strawmanning and arguing against something? Because I don't want to fucking read an article from the independentsocialistgroup.org in the middle of a fucking stream with like 23,000 people watching me, dude. Because I'm not a fucking freak like you, okay? Because you're a fucking freak. Because this is boring. And I've heard this argument a million times. Fuck. Shut up.
Hardly anything of substance. It's just bad. Like the whole thing is bad. And I don't like it at all. That's really the truth, man.
Like, my dude is pulling a Russia Today and being like, you literally shouldn't vote. Okay, dude. I don't know what fucking country you're at. You're probably in Canada or some shit. Get wrecked when Donald Trump has 4 more years and decides to even accelerate his foreign policy to a degree that like absolutely destroys Canada as well. So fun stuff for you. If you live in the fucking third world and you're like, yeah, you shouldn't vote because we need to build international solidarity amongst the left or whatever the fuck, like, good luck, dude. I don't think Asmongold is being honest with himself by denying the difference between having 4 more years of Trump admin versus Biden, at least in that take. There are legitimate reasons as to why you should vote for a Biden administration, because a Biden administration is more competent than the Trump administration, okay? Shit like coronavirus will not be as devastating under a Biden administration. It just won't. I'm sorry. That's just the fucking truth. So there are legitimate reasons as to why Biden etches out in comparison to Donald Trump and why you should vote for him. But ultimately, if you think that like your vote for Joe Biden is actually going to fucking significantly and dramatically change the world or something, if you think that you're going to like actually fucking win if you're actually going to save the planet by like casting a fucking vote to old Joe, you're deluded. It's infinitely more significant for you to actually vote for it's infinitely more significant for you to actually go out and fucking vote for down ballot races and ballot measures. ISGs in Massachusetts, Worcester is probably not an argument you've heard. Without membership structures or internal democracy, the Democratic Party lacks the avenue for a grassroots working class movement that sees control of the party or changes direction in a meaningful way. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We've had this conversation before. But like, you're literally trying to be like, yeah, you shouldn't vote. You're fucking... If you from Eastern Europe are telling me, yeah, you shouldn't vote, like, I'm going to treat you like fucking liberals treat Russia today. Okay? And if I'm losing the left because their argument is, don't vote, then yeah, that's pathetic. You just lost the radical left. You're a disgrace to the downtrodden middle class. Me? Yeah, dude, I fucking hate the middle class. Why do I hate the middle class? Is it because I think that voting for Joe Biden isn't going to dramatically better their lives? Or is it because I think you should still vote for Joe Biden and it will at the very least make people's lives not as bad as they would be under 4 more years of an unhinged, psychopathic, narcissistic Donald Trump? It's always, listen, it's always the same. It's like the stock market, okay? When you socialize the losses but privatize the gains in the stock market, when the stock market is doing well, it's not doing well for you if you're a part of the working class. But if the stock market is doing poorly, you bet your fucking ass you're going to feel that burden, okay? And voting is like the same. Voting has the same kind of effect. If you fucking if you think that like voting for Joe Biden is dramatically going to better your life, well, no, that's not going to happen. But if you don't recognize that not voting for Joe Biden, or at least watching Trump take over for 4 more years and have more power, and if you think that that's not going to have a horrible impact on your life in a meaningful capacity, then you're also wrong. Okay? That's it. And if you're a leftist overall, I've told you this before, and I will repeat it once again. If you believe that like there will inevitably be a leftist coalition that will mobilize and seize control of the Democratic Party or anything like that, well, they will have some semblance of power in American governance. Why the fuck would you allow a dipshit to make it harder and add additional fucking hurdles? Like, to add additional fucking hurdles once you inevitably seize control of the government, and it creates additional problems for you to fix. Like, it's so dumb. Don't vote. Do local grassroots activism that first and foremost keeps intersectionality in mind. Shit posting in the Hasan Discord and calling Nasty Nate an ICE agent. Yeah. True. Yeah, that's the peak of doing work, community work. I can't mail in a vote. Why would I risk getting COVID to vote for someone who doesn't represent my interests? Well, I don't know. Maybe the reason why you can't mail in a vote, or maybe the reason why you're even risking COVID to go out and vote, is kind of related to who's in fucking power right now. I think you have your answer. Like, that is one area, that is literally one area where the Democrats actually etch out Republicans, okay? That is literally a reason why you should and could ride with fucking Biden. Like, and I say this all the time. Like, I've been saying this at the beginning of COVID. Like, this is one area where a competent leadership or competent administration under Joe Biden, which wouldn't be really doing anything personally, but Joe Biden's administration would do a better job of dealing with a fucking pandemic like coronavirus. They just would. Are there underlying systemic issues that make it harder for a country like America to deal with the death and devastation of a global pandemic? Certainly. Certainly. Trump already had a significant burden because he has inherited the system, which he made worse, by the way, but he inherited a broken fucking system regardless. But ultimately, he didn't do the right stuff that he was supposed to do. All right, I'm done with all this.
Taxation is theft. That's a stupid... taxation is theft is the stupidest thing that you can possibly say. Do I have to did I say this on my alt stream or on my main stream? I think that I said it on my alt stream. Listen, taxation cannot be theft because theft implies personal ownership. And if the state dictates what personal ownership is, then they can dictate what it is not. And if they can dictate that you do not personally own the thing that they're taking away from you, then it's not theft by the definition of you not owning it. It's literally it's the dumbest thing you can possibly say. I don't agree with that at all. Okay. I know dumbass says, yeah, I'm sorry guys, but like I feel like, let me see here, it doesn't work like that. Of course it does. There's no
This is a very interesting point of view on taxation is theft. Like I don't even, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even fully understand the argument that he was making. Like, he's saying you didn't own that money to begin with. His dad works for the IRS. Oh, that's fucking dope. Yeah, you're gonna have to play that again. I had to hear it again.
And if they can dictate that you do not...
I feel like he made a libertarian argument as to why taxation is not theft.
...personally own the thing that they're taking away from you, then it's not theft by the definition of you not owning it. It's literally it's the dumbest thing you can possibly say. I don't agree with that at all. Okay. I know dumbass says, yeah, I'm sorry guys, but like I feel like my alt stream.
Is he saying that like all personal and private property is owned by concessions made by the government, and that technically all property still belongs to the state, and you're only sitting on that property because the government has offered you concessions to it? Like, has given you the concession that like you can have ownership over it? Because if so, that is an incredible take. I mean, I love that take. Or, oh, he's saying theft is a crime dictated by the state. The state says that's theirs, so it can't be theft because it never belonged to you. It is a tautological argument, yes. It is a little bit of a cyclical argument, but that's also incredibly based as well. That's some real off-left shit right there, dude. What the fuck? Only the state defines what theft is.
Listen, taxation cannot be theft because theft implies personal ownership. And if the state dictates what personal ownership is, then they can dictate what it is not. And if they can dictate that you do not personally own the thing that they're taking away from you, then it's not theft by the definition of...
Oh, okay, yeah, no, he's saying that it's up to the state what is yours and what isn't yours. The state defines what theft is. The state defines what is your personal property and what isn't your personal property. And taxation is basically the state saying, this is not your personal property. This is the property of the state. This level, this percentage that we're taking from your salary is actually, something that belongs to the state. Asmongold doesn't believe in ownership.
Don't really believe that you can own anything. And the only time that you can own anything in the natural order of the universe. So what I mean by that is that there's no thing in the universe that says that this item is owned by you. So the entire idea of ownership is a construct that's created by society. So if society creates the construct of ownership, that means that society can also dictate the confines and the extent of that ownership. And because of that, because society not only defines what ownership is, but then can also create different ways that ownership can exist.
Does Asmongold know about enclosures? Because, like, there's, like, one last piece of the puzzle for him that would completely get him to have a historical materialist approach to how societies have developed. Like, it's literally...
It would imply that taxation could never be theft, because theft implies ownership, and then ownership is defined by the people who don't really believe.
Nisha Asmongold about primitive accumulation. That's wild. That's actually really fucking... That's really cool. I did not know he had this take. Asmon, also, you used to work for the IRS. Dude, I've been thinking about this a lot. The real boys in the blue are the fucking IRS, dude. It sucks because, like, nobody likes them. Everyone hates them. Like, everyone in America hates the IRS except for the people that work in the IRS, and even them, they probably hate the IRS too. But it is one of the most important agencies, and absolutely fucking deserves more support, because it's the most significant funding vehicle for everything. What about postal workers? No, people love postal workers. That's why I'm saying that, like, you said before that Asmongold was very interesting. Yeah, he is very interesting. This is why. Tax accountants all hate the IRS. I hate having to call them. I'm on hold for 12 hours. Yeah, but you hate having to call them because you're on hold for 12 hours because of how underfunded they are. Most people who have this take just don't know how to extend it to their political choices, in my opinion. Tons of normal people, I think, know this way. Leftism is the default state. Tax money wasn't squandered and used on stupid shit. People wouldn't hate it as much. No. First of all, tax money being squandered is not up to the fucking IRS anyway. You also said the people who worked there were mostly super lazy. Yeah, I think that does happen. Our mammalian pack rat brain. I think you can whip that into shape though, with like a focus on how profoundly important their job is. You know, offer them a sense of duty, work on the feelings of patriotism. The IRS should be as well functioning as the FBI, and the reality is the FBI is an institution that has a lot of fucking funds in comparison to what the necessary funds are for the IRS to work. That way you get to that way you would have you would be able to bring additional talent. Like all of our entire NatSec, our entire intelligence community is still some of our strongest institutions, and the reason why it's strong is because there is, again, the patriotic sense of duty that you can grab people with. But then also on top of that, it's like way better funded with respect to what kind of funds is necessary to operate these institutions. The IRS doesn't have that from a marketing point of view. The IRS doesn't even have that deliberately from a funding point of view. Changing that, I think, would be really good. It would literally fucking make the world a better place. You could bring in more talent to the IRS. You could show people how important it is. And if it worked well because it got properly funded and because it had better talent and because it had more hands, you could literally change. You could literally actually pursue financial criminals and shit like that. Every dollar to the IRS gives back $4 to the government. Does the IRS actually go after rich assholes? No, they can't go after rich assholes because they don't have enough fucking money or the funds or anything.